A mental health clinician in Denver saw the news out of Nashville and found herself relating to some of her patients.
Yeah, she had grown up in Tennessee, going to the church attached to the Covenant School. And 9 News reporter Jaleesa Irizarry now sharing with us how she's coping through this. Jaleesa?
Yeah, she doesn't want to use her last name for security reasons, but Heather tells me the first thing that came to mind when she saw the news about Nashville was, here we go again. It took her back to last week when she had an appointment scheduled at East the day of the shooting. As seasons change, so much of this world remains the same.
And it feels like it's just never going to stop.
This is a conversation Heather, a Denver-based mental health clinician, has had too often with people too young.
Yeah, I work right now with juvenile justice involved youth, as well as youth that struggle with any mental health disorders. They're living in what feels like constant trauma with things going on, like with the shootings and stuff. It's like they're constantly nervous for their safety.
Last week, on the day of the East High shooting, Heather had an appointment scheduled there with a student. It was canceled before she got to the school. The student stayed home that day, but the violence did not. Kids were once again locked down, once again forced to show signs of frustration.
I'm supposed to know how to help kids cope as a therapist, but in this scenario, it's like, how can you help a kid cope when the crisis is still going? Like, you don't. The closer it gets to you, the worse it's gonna get.
For Heather, it didn't need to get close, but it did. This week, she turned on her phone and saw her childhood church.
And then I saw the school and I was like, no way. I grew up in that church. I was there when we broke ground for that campus, when the school was added, and then that's when I found out that Mrs. Kuntz died.
Catherine Kuntz was the head of Covenant School. When Heather knew her decades ago, she was a tutor and changed the program for kids that needed extra help.
She was super sweet and super lovely and just a joy to be around. I'm sad for the community I grew up in, but I'm so sick of things not changing. And unfortunately, I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel.
As the flowers dry, as support crumbles, one thought will always be the same. Something needs to change.
I don't know how that happens, but I mean, I'm going to do everything I can to try to make that happen.
Heather says for the survivors of these school shootings, the trauma can manifest for years to come. Many could be later diagnosed with a number of conditions, including panic disorder, PTSD, and general depression. Tom?
You know, it's you think of her emotional proximity to 2 of these events now, and obviously that's incredibly taxing on someone. But also maybe someday as a clinician, it might really provide her with a pretty strong arsenal for helping others, really understanding what they may be going through.
Yeah, what a connection, right? And she talked to me a little bit about this generation that's currently in school right now. They're probably going to be the first generation to have active shooter drills since before they could read. So they are going through a lot at such a young age. She said it'll be interesting and important to see just how much this impacts them for years and decades to come.
Yeah, we're asking way too much of a lot of people, especially those youngsters.
Yep.
Jaleesa, thank you.